Coronavirus deaths are so high in Italy that some places have waiting list for burials, and funerals are taking place with no family members there.
Here's a summary of the article.
Source Flavio Lo Scalzo, Reuters. In Bergamo, the part of Italy worst affected by the coronavirus outbreak, coffins are overflowing local facilities, The Washington Post reported. There is a waiting list for services, a crematorium is working 24 hours a day, and the obituary section of a local newspaper has grown to about 10 pages, the Post said. Funeral services are overwhelmed in Bergamo, the northern Italian city hit hardest by the coronavirus outbreak, with a crematorium operating 24 hours a day, The Washington Post reported on Monday. There is now a waiting list for burials there, and coffins of the deceased awaiting services have overflowed 2 hospital morgues and a cemetery morgue, the Post reported. Italy is the worst-hit country by the coronavirus outbreak outside of China, with more than 27,000 confirmed cases and 2,158 people dead as of Tuesday. Under the strict lockdown imposed in this part of Italy on March 8 by Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte, many Bergamo funerals are being held with only a priest and a funeral home employee present, with occasional permission for a funeral of no more than 10 mourners, according to the Post. The stringent precautions at every stage mean that many people have had no opportunity to visit a loved one after the onset of COVID-19, the disease caused by the coronavirus, or to see the body before the funeral, according to the Post.
This post received a score of 48,446, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
My father died on the 13th. We are in Texas. Since his church is closed, we cannot have a service for him until probably May. It is very surreal to not have all the family flocking home for him.
I'm sorry to hear, bro.
Sis, but thank you. Kindness doesn't really have a gender, right?
Right.
What made the virus hit Italy so hard?
That is why this is the most important thing to avoid. Since this took off, some people from Wuhan were visiting Codogna. They fell ill and were hospitalized without suspicion of corona. Both doctors and nurses were infected without symptoms. Plus Italy culturally is the opposite of social distancing, and has an old population.
I don't see anyone being very careful yet in my state. Shit's going to hit hard. Arizona. Bunch of boomer Republicans acting like shit's a hoax even though now businesses are all closing up.
Yeah, I know way too many people who aren't taking this seriously enough. As in, little to no preparation or precaution.
My boss said this morning, in a mandatory meeting of 100-plus employees, we're doing everything we can and are dedicated to the health and safety of our employees. Then ended with, it's business as usual. I work for Public Works in my city, 1 hour outside of Toronto. We've implemented 0 changes for employees. We asked if we could stop using the finger-scanning punch clocks, which was denied. We don't have a lot of local cases, but sounds like we will soon. The irresponsibility is mind-numbing.
I can do my job entirely online from home. I put in a request to work remotely with some exceptions to come in and my boss said I'm likely to get denied. Unless the government mandates a quarantine will be open. I just don't understand why workers who don't necessarily have to be there putting more workers in the pool to potentially get everyone and their families sick.
My supervisor and I got into a heated argument on Friday last week because I told her I wanted to work from home this week. Monday morning she sends out a blast email that she's working from home this week.
LMAO. When I was working in North Carolina and it was starting to look like Hurricane Florence was going to be a possible threat, my coworkers and I were asking the executives when they were going to close the office so we could focus on preparations. They continued to say it wasn't going to hit, models change all the time, and shit like that. When it became pretty clear where it was headed, they all left the state but still had us working until the very last minute. From that point on I have a simple code, in the face of anything that jeopardizes safety, once my boss is gone, I'm gone.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.